Before I start, I'll have to, as usual, I recall, but before recalling, I made a notational mess, I think, which I'll tell you. So, anybody is following closely, one has to take care of certain thing, notational problem between Koblitz and Conan. So, if I think is that when we discussed about the group G having set of all alpha phi of z, when I introduce the stroke operation on GL2 plus Q action on functions, we define this alpha belonging to GL2 plus Q and phi is holomorphic such that p square z is t times cz plus d by square root of determinant of 1, where t is plus minus 1. Okay, this is what we took, and then we defined the action. If we call this element as psi, f bar psi is defined to be, we take the phi z power minus 2k minus 1 because I am applying the weight k plus of f of alpha z. This is what we defined. But since I am using Conan's paper, there is a small difference. So in fact, phi z in our case is that, so phi z in our case is, I use the same t because t now will fourth root of unity, cz plus d power half by determinant of alpha power 1 by 4, where t is plus minus 1 or plus minus 5. But on the other hand, what Conan uses the, so Conan, this psi for him is alpha, he puts the 2k plus 1 there. He puts the k factor also in the phi, and then for him, this f bar psi in his definition is phi z power minus 1 f of alpha. Both the effects are same, but when you write the matrix and its automorphic factor together, there will be a k floating around in Conan's notation, whereas we don't put the k in the automorphic factors. Okay, so whenever I mention, because some of the operators I defined yesterday contained this kind of k in the automorphic factors, if people might have noticed it. So in that case, either you use the phi z power minus 1 if that one is for those matrices, otherwise you remove the k using this particular concept so that confusion is gone. So I don't know whether I can correct in many places, but wherever it is appearing, this, whenever k appears in the lifting of a GL2 plus Q element, that is Conan's notation, otherwise it is Koblitz notation. I'm sorry for the confusion. So today, okay, we recall what we discussed is half integral with definition, and the Hecke operators, ST map, the Shimura map, taking sk plus half. This writing is visible, no? That okay, because thinner now. 4n chi1 to s2k 2n. Actually, did I say chi1 in my previous notation? I think this is again changed. Anyway, I'll explain if this is not, because Conan also uses the even character, he defines in a completely different way. So we'll just say chi1 is a even character modulo, chi1 even modulo 4n. This chi1 notation you will come to know when I today's lecture. So this map commutes with the action of Hecke operators, and also Conan plus space. Define k plus half plus 4n. Actually, we defined 4. Level n equal to 1, we took set of all f. F is in the full space such that kfn is 0 whenever minus 1 power k n is 2, 3 mod. So using this definition, he characterized this in the U4 W4 U2 eigenspace of U4 W4 operator, and then showed that this map can be redefined, that one can modify it so that, so modify Shimura lift. Here is D is either T or 4T, where T is 1 mod 4, T is 2 or 3 mod 4 such that minus 1 power k d positive. Then he defined SD plus from, in fact, this is what m k plus half plus 4 is an isomorphism, not isomorphism, mapping is not isomorphism. So this maps to m2k 1 and then there is a linear combination of SD plus such that it gives an isomorphism between these spaces. That's what we showed, that these two spaces are isomorphic. That means the dimensions are equal. And yeah, this is what briefly what we have seen so far. Today we will just another paper of Conan. So uniform theory. So this is reference is W. Conan. Relay Journal, I think volume is P33, 1982. This was done in 1981 but published in 82. So the setup here is, so now in a level n, what he does, so the setup, I'll fix the notation setup. So the space is, so chi, so n is odd. So whenever we discuss new form theory, when discussing uniform theory, n is odd square phi. Odd square. So can you discuss this one? Otherwise, more generally, it is true for n any odd integer. Chi, a character, Dirichlet character modulo capital N. Chi of -1 is epsilon. It can be an even or odd character. So define the character, even character chi1 to be 4 epsilon by dot into chi. So note that chi1 is even, because I am putting this 4 epsilon by dot character. So therefore chi1 or -1 is 1. So with this one you define the space of cusp forms in the, so now I am in the gamma 0 4 n group. The character is chi1 in this notation. Chi is a character modulo n, therefore chi1 is a character modulo 4n, which is an even character. This you can take all forms 4 and chi1 with the same condition that AFN is 0. If minus here epsilon -1 power k n is 2 or 3 modulo. So now the notations are increasing because of the extra assumption that chi is any character, so that the parity of chi also comes into the picture in the definition. So epsilon -1 power k n is 2 or 3 mod 4 means coefficient 0. If I collect all the forms in the full space of cusp forms, then he defines this to be in the plus space. So again, he introduces the Hecke operators in this particular one, which preserve the spaces. So Hecke operators. So he denotes this t square plus, which is the same as t p square when p not dividing n p odd. And then what he does for the p equal to 2 also, he takes the same as, so t plus 4 is defined in the same way as t plus p square using Fourier expansion. Later on he shows that it is nothing but the U4 projection. So there is a projection operator which is taking the cusp forms into the plus space. So what the P4 plus is nothing but when P equals to, the projection is sk plus half 4n chi1. You project onto the plus space, then chi1, then I think t plus 4 is, I think either 3 by 2, if I am not sure about this particular one, U4 projection. So you apply the U4 operator on functions and then put the projection operator, that is exactly the Hecke operator in the case of plus space. So we have f bar t plus 4 t plus p square I can write for every prime p, including p equal to 2, n greater than or equal to 1, epsilon minus 1 power k n congruent to 0 or 1 mod 4, af of p square n plus p power k minus 1 phi of p. Here it is again, when epsilon factor comes, af of n plus chi of p square p power 2k minus 1 af of n by p square. So including p equal to 2. And p not dividing capital N. So for all p not dividing the level, that is n, for him level is n, because in the case of level 1, he already showed that it goes down to the level 1. Similarly, what he is going to do is that one can define a Shimura extended Shimura map which takes forms of level 4 and 2 down to the level n. So that's what, therefore for him the level is effectively this capital N, because it is coming to the integral weight of level capital N. So as usual, up square is the usual u operator in the case of half integral weight. So f bar up square is summation n epsilon minus 1 power k n congruent to 0 or 1 mod 4 af of p square n u power n. And this also can be defined, the u operator, though it is a Hecke operator when p divides the level. One can also define the u operator in general. M any natural number is defined as follows. On Fourier expansion, one can define um takes the Fourier expansion an q power n to summation a nm q power n. Okay, so it takes the nth coefficient to the nth coefficient in the Fourier expansion. So one can show that whenever this m divides the level, so it is a Hecke operator and preserves the space. Otherwise, only the Fourier expansion we have. Also, for p dividing n, this up operator is there. Square will be preserving. So it takes the cos forms 4n chi 1 to, it doesn't preserve the space, but because it changes the character, chi 1 into chi p. Here chi p is the character p by dot. This is again, note that this is an even character. Okay, therefore chi 1 is even, chi p is even. Therefore, so up, though the level is same, the character is changing. Therefore, it doesn't preserve the space. Okay. Now next is that once you define this the plus space in general, now one has, like in the case of n equal to 1, you have to characterize this in terms of certain operator. So characterization of the plus space. So in the case of n equal to 1, he used the operator u4 w4, but here he uses another operator which is some gl2 plus matrix psi matrix times some trace operator. But effectively, this is exactly same as u4 w4, which we will see at some point. So proposition. So let's take psi to be. So here I introduce the k. I don't know how to do. I use the Conant's notation. Therefore, the k appears in the one that you have to remove the 2k plus 1. So it should be epsilon power half. If I change it as e power 2k plus 1 pi by pi I by 4. So I just removed it because my notes I have put k. Okay, psi is this matrix with the p z and define q by f bar q is summation v modulo 4 f bar. You apply psi and then the trace is given by av star, where the matrix av is given by 1 0 4 and v 1 in gamma 0 4. Okay, so after applying this, psi takes the level 4n to 16n. Okay, so this form is of level 16, that doesn't preserve this one. Therefore, don't think that this will be invariant. It is not invariant because already psi takes the forms of level 4 to level 16. So this is nothing but the trace of operator coming from 16n to 4n. So that's effectively that is the one. Then the operator q Q satisfies the quadratic equation. Q minus alpha into Q minus beta equal to 0 on the full space where alpha has this constant minus 1 power k plus 1 by 2 integral part epsilon 2 root 2 and beta is minus 1 by 2 alpha. You remember that the same kind of thing was there, epsilon was not there when some power of k appeared in this alpha definition. So if you look at the previous one, more or less same, the beta is nothing but minus half of alpha. So it is Hermitian and its alpha eigenspace is the plus space. Alpha eigenspace is the plus space. I should have written the notation, but this is easy for me to write plus space. So we'll just give a sketch of the proof. Very technical, but I will just try to see that. So because of this one, I have q square. I have see we finds q square and then simplifies into q and some f, so that now it satisfies the quadratic equation. So he computes the square. So f bar q square is nothing but you take two representatives v mod 4, mu mod 4, f bar psi av star psi a mu star. So apply the operator successfully, just write it like that. Now he computes this, if fixing mu, he computes this with v equal to 0, v equal to plus minus 1 and v equal to 2. So compute for v equal to 0, plus minus 1, 2 separately. So when I take v equal to 0, you take this particular matrix multiplication a0 star psi a mu star, which is nothing but so this I'll write with k inside, so otherwise I'll have to waste some time to get back to my notation. Epsilon into I power k plus r. See this k appearing, so that whatever I told in the beginning you have to use, and then in this case the automatic factor, if I stroking means minus 1, that's all. Epsilon a mu star, and this is nothing but there's a big factor coming, so I just say that this is chi mu n. It is a root of unity only, it's not a factor, but it is taking a lot of time. I'll just mention in the next step what it is. And then a matrix of gamma 0 4n, that is 2n mu minus n mu 4n mu 1 minus 2n mu. So it is a determinant 1 matrix gamma 0 n, therefore it is star times again the same one 8 2 1 0 2. 8 means I have to 16 8 0 16, that is a matrix, comma epsilon I power k plus r. So that means this is a mu star, and when I apply the a mu star in this one, I get this one where, so now I have to sum overall mu modulo 4. So now when I do that, the summation mu modulo 4 t mu chi mu comma n is nothing but, now you know what is the factor here, mu modulo 4. We have the chi 1 of minus 2n mu plus 1 is 4n by minus 2n mu plus 1 minus 4 by minus 2n mu plus 1 power minus k minus 1. If you compute varying mu modulo 4, this becomes 0. Therefore, when I put v equal to 0 and sum over modulo mu, because of this computation, if I apply the identity matrix on f and sum over mu, this will become 0. Therefore, I no need to compute the other one. Therefore, the contribution coming from v equal to 0 is 0. The next is take v equal to plus minus 1. So psi a plus minus 1 star psi. He computes this as identity, again a root of unity with depending on n and chi, and then I will not write this n square star star. So many stars are there because this is a gamma 0 n square element, it will be 4n square. Therefore, again it is invariant under that. So into psi a plus minus 1 star. Okay, this computation gives you when I so this in between matrix that's okay. Therefore, I'm not taking this. Then if I take substitute here, v equal to plus minus 1, this we computed. Now I multiply by a mu star and then sum. So therefore, summation mu modulo 4 f bar psi a plus minus 1 star psi a mu star. This becomes putting this value minus 1, this is chi1 of 1 plus minus n. So depending on the plus k plus here, minus and minus, plus n square minus 4 by 1 plus minus n plus n square whole power k minus half, epsilon power minus k minus half. Epsilon is chi of minus 1. So exponential minus of 2k plus 1 pi I by 4 times f bar q. So when I apply this plus minus 1, I get back my q operator up to some constant. Again, I have to sum over. Yeah, therefore, I individually do plus 1 and minus 1. When I have this one, this implies when I do this mu modulo 4 f bar psi a1 star psi a mu plus f bar psi a minus 1 star psi a mu. I have to add these 2 times. This becomes simplified form 1 plus epsilon minus 1 power k I. When I add these two things, plus 1 minus 1 becomes 1 plus epsilon power minus 1 power k I. The epsilon power minus k minus half remains. E power minus 2k plus 1 pi I by 4 remains. And then f bar q. So finally, I have to put, so when you take v equal to 0, the operator is 0, the action is 0. Plus minus 1 we computed, it comes to some constant time q, and then remaining is v equal to 2. So the v equal to 2 gives you the following. So v equal to 2 psi a2 star psi equal to 16 0 0 16 is scalar matrix, action is identity, and then we have 1 plus 2n 8n 1 plus n by 2 1 plus 2n. So in this computation, n is odd, important because we have this particular factor 1 plus n by 2. It is an integer only when n is odd. That is our assumption. Otherwise, it is not true for all n. So most of the things will go through, but certain things one has to be careful. So n odd only this computation works. This implies f summation mu modulo 4 psi a2 star psi a mu star is 4 times f, because this invariant, this also gamma 0 4 an element, therefore it comes out. Then a mu star is again it is constant time f. Since it is in f, a mu star also in gamma 0 4 n, therefore it is invariant. Everything comes out identity, therefore 4 terms are there, 4 times f. So now we combine everything. So we started with 0, contribution is 0, plus minus 1 contribution is some constant time q. The 2 contribution is again constant time f. So combining everything, combining all, what we get is q square equal to 1 plus epsilon minus 1 power k I, epsilon power minus k minus half, e power minus of 2k plus 1 pi I by 4 q plus 4. This is what this is on sk plus half 4n chi 1. The full space. This is this, therefore you can factorize this one. This implies q minus alpha, q minus beta is 0. Okay, so that alpha beta is exactly, we compute it, then whatever we mentioned in the proposition, this is alpha and that is beta. So that will come out when you do this factorization. Therefore, he introduced one operator whose which satisfies the quadratic equation, and then we have to show that the alpha eigenspace is the plus space. That is what it remains. So another thing is that it is self-adjoint Hermitian matrix, we have to say. So what is the adjoint of? Briefly, we'll see that you compute this adjoint of psi, which is 4 minus 1 0 4 psi power minus k minus half. Again, I wrote without k. Now this is difficult for me to keep track of things. One has to do this kind of shifting from one to the other, and You take this 1 minus 2n, 8n, n minus 2, 1 minus 2n star psi 1 0 minus 8n 1 star is the adjoint of psi dash. So one can use this one to show that this implies Q is Hermitian. So this is the computation you did for this, showing that the operator is a Hermitian operator. So we have proved that Hermitian property using this adjoint of the matrix we have computed, and then the last computation tells you that one can check that it is a Hermitian operator. It satisfies the quadratic equation, that is proved. It remains to show that alpha is a plus space is the alpha eigenspace. So prove that alpha eigenspace is a plus space. So now take a form f in sk plus half 4n chi1. Then compute the psi and psi plus, then f bar psi plus psi dash, that is adjoint of psi as a matrix. So we have minus k minus half e power minus of 2k plus 1 pi I by 4 f bar f of z plus 1 by 4 plus the negative of this, the k plus half e power 2k plus 1 pi I by 4 f of z minus 1 by 4. So therefore, one can take this factor common. So epsilon power k into summation n greater than or equal to 1, epsilon power minus half, I power minus k, e power minus pi I by 4. And then when you use the Fourier expansion of f, it's a summation a n e power 2 pi I n is that. So therefore, that e power 2 pi I n by 4 will come out. Therefore, it is e power pi I n by 2 plus. Here I have again epsilon power half will be there, I power k, all the negative power of this one will come, e power pi I by 4 and e power minus pi I n by 2, the whole constant time af of n q power. Okay. So this computation gives you, when you do this Fourier expansion, simplify, we get, so this Fourier expansion after simplification, this gives you the equation f bar psi plus psi dash is up to some constant which is minus 1 power k plus 1 by 2 epsilon root 2, and then the Fourier series retained minus a Fourier series is retained. This one is epsilon minus 1 power k, n is 0 or 1 mod 4. Whenever 2 or 3 mod 4, it changes sign minus because of this e power minus pi I n by 2. This is epsilon minus 1 power k n. So the Fourier series of f remains, only the, whenever it is 0 or 1 mod 4, it keeps the same coefficient. When it is 2 or 3 mod 4, it changes the minus part. Okay, therefore, that is the effect of the psi and psi plus adding together on the Fourier coefficient of any form f. So if you take any Fourier series, it is true. Okay, just one can work. There is nothing like that modular form. For any Fourier series, one can get it. So f belongs to the plus space if and only if. So that means if I take this right hand side, this coefficient should not be there. If I have only this coefficient, f has the same kind of coefficient. Therefore, this becomes the constant time f. Okay, if and only if f bar psi plus psi dash is alpha by 2f. This is exactly alpha by 2 because 2 times this one is alpha, therefore alpha by 2f. Therefore, if f belongs to the plus space, this part goes away, therefore I have this one. Conversely, if f bar psi plus psi dash is this one, again this part will become 0 because when I am adding these two, it will. Okay, so nothing that another thing is that note this q is nothing but psi bar trace, where trace is operator which is adjoint to the inclusion map. So trace is the adjoint operator adjoint to the inclusion map. There is naturally inclusion map is there, and that adjoint is the trace. So, so this is nothing but the trace of sk plus half 16n chi1 to sk plus half. As I mentioned earlier, that this is what exactly the trace map. Okay, so if f belongs to the plus space, I'll write to save my time. Plus means I have to use this notation, that's all. You put the plus on top. Okay, this one. If it belongs to the plus space, then f bar q is half f bar q plus q tilde. I think q tilde is the adjoint of q. Okay, this adjoint is because self-adjoint operator, therefore it is exactly q plus q only. This is nothing but half f bar psi trace plus f bar psi dash trace. Okay, psi dash again adjoint. Okay, this implies this is equal to alpha by 4 because psi plus psi dash, that's what we assume. Okay, f belongs to the plus space, implies f bar psi plus psi dash is alpha by 2f. We use that one. So this is nothing but alpha by 4 f, and then trace will be remaining, f bar trace. Okay. So since f belongs to the plus space, f bar trace is f, therefore it is alpha by 2 f. Okay. Therefore, if f belongs to the plus space, then f bar q is alpha by 2 f. Conversely, we have to show that if f bar, sorry, mistake, something is wrong. F bar q should be alpha f, no? So f bar trace is 4 times f. Sorry, I did a mistake. So in this case, this is equal to alpha f. So f belongs to f bar trace here. In this case, it is 4 times f. So conversely, if f bar q, this characterization means you want to put both the ways. No, if f is in the plus space, it is an eigenfunction under a q with eigenvalue alpha. That's what we show. Assuming that f bar q is alpha f, then I have to show that f belongs to the plus space. What he does is then f bar psi minus alpha by 4 trace. Yeah, that's right. No, since f bar q is this, see, even f bar trace is f, even if f is in the full space. Okay, that you should know. Okay, if f belongs to gamma 0, 4 and chi 1, not necessarily in the plus space, f bar trace is 4 times f. Therefore, this will be 4 times f. This psi is, since f bar q is alpha f, we get this. Psi trace is q, alpha minus, let me see, this is equal to the same as f bar psi dash minus alpha by 4 trace equal to 0. That is because f belongs to the full space. Okay, and f bar q is nothing but psi bar trace. No, that's what I mentioned. Q is psi bar trace. Therefore, this is f bar q minus alpha f is 0. Here also psi dash trace also q is Hermitian. Therefore, psi dash trace also q, and this is equal to f minus alpha f, it is 0. F bar q minus alpha f is 0. Okay, this implies both are 0. Therefore, adding them, what we will get is f bar psi plus psi dash minus alpha by 2 trace is 0. Okay. Now trace is the adjoint of the inclusion map. This implies trace is adjoint of the inclusion map, and we know that the psi and psi dash takes forms of level 4 to level 16. Therefore, this particular operation takes the form to the level 16. The level 16 trace is 0 means it is orthogonal to the level 4 and space. This implies this f cap function, which is f bar psi plus psi dash minus alpha by 2, is lies in the orthogonal complement of this sk plus half 4 and chi 1 in the 16 length space. That's what this equation tells you, that given any f in level 4n, this is a level 16 form. So the trace 0 means it is lying in the orthogonal complement of the level 4n space in 16n. Therefore, that is inner product of f cap comma f is 0 for all f in sk plus half 4n chi1. That's what it says. Okay. Note that we have already seen that f bar psi plus psi dash, if I apply, yeah, coming to the star or somewhere I mentioned, or yes. So this, you could look at this particular expansion, f bar psi plus psi dash gives you, retains the 0 or 1 mod 4, changes the sign of 2 or 3 modulo 4. If I apply again, it again retains this particular one, it changes this to minus, therefore it comes back to the original function f. Therefore f bar psi plus psi dash, they apply 2 times. Because of this particular things get cancelled, because another factor of minus 1 power k plus 1 by 2 will come, another factor of epsilon will come, another factor of root 2 will come, therefore remains only 2. Therefore, using that, so now I have to say this is star. So therefore, note using star, we get f bar psi plus psi dash bar psi plus psi dash is 2 times f. Okay, that is what we have. Therefore, this implies inner product of f cap comma f bar psi plus psi dash is nothing but f cap bar psi plus psi dash comma f. Adjoint I am using. This f cap is nothing but f of psi plus psi dash minus alpha by 2. Use this definition there. This is nothing but f bar psi plus psi dash bar psi plus psi dash comma f, and then there is minus alpha by 2 will be there, that comes out inner product of f bar psi plus psi dash comma f. Okay, because this one will be there, I am substituting only the definition for this one, f bar psi, let's see, yeah, f cap is f bar psi plus psi dash minus alpha by 2 f, that alpha by 2 f, this will be there. Okay, this is equal to, so psi plus psi dash is 2 times f, therefore we have 2 times f minus alpha by 2 f bar psi plus psi dash comma f. I think I this need not have simplified here. I just this one I should not repeat 2 times. I'll keep it this inside this one only. This is equal to, this one is nothing but f bar psi plus psi dash bar psi plus psi dash minus alpha by 2 f bar psi plus psi dash comma f, which is nothing but this first term is 2 times f minus alpha by 2 f bar psi plus psi dash comma f. This is nothing but alpha by 2 comes out. This is nothing but f, what did I write? Equal to f tilde comma f. So note that alpha square by 4 is 2. 2 is alpha square by 4. Therefore, when I take this one out, I have f tilde comma f is 0. So this you have to check now. Okay. Therefore, f, when I take the f cap, which is orthogonal to all forms of level 4 and comma chi1, when I compute this one, so this implies it's also orthogonal to f bar psi plus psi dash. This implies, so now the f cap is nothing but a combination of this and f constant time f, right? It is, this one is orthogonal to this as well as orthogonal to f, therefore it is orthogonal to itself. Implies f cap is 0 and f cap is nothing but f bar, that is f bar psi plus psi dash is alpha by 2 f. That's what we have seen. Already we proved that F is in the plus space if and only if f plus I bar is alpha by 2, and we started with f an eigenfunction under the q operator with eigenvalue alpha, then we could show that f is in the plus space. Therefore, this is q, the alpha, that means, therefore, we have shown that the alpha eigenspace of q is the plus space. So we started with the plus space, and then, so note that this proposition is valid for any n odd, not necessarily square free. So therefore, the plus space concept characterization in terms of the q operator is valid when n is any odd integer. So next one is, this is the first step characterizing the plus space. Next one is, before we need proceed to the new form theory, we need some operators called these Atkin-Lehner W operators. W operators. If you have studied the Atkin-Lehner, I am writing Conan. Atkin-Lehner. So these were introduced by Atkin-Lehner when they studied the theory of new forms of integral weight. So briefly, we'll see that for level n, it should be suddenly coming in the case of half integral weight. You should not be wondering that, but it is coming from the integral weight analog of the W operator defined in the case of integral weight. And then assume that alpha is the highest power of p dividing n. So Atkin-Lehner, for this particular setup, define the operator Wp as GL2 plus Q action, which is p power alpha a, b, nc, p power alpha d. I am not taking the character, so when you take the character, some assumption has to be made for the properties when we derive it, where p power alpha ad minus n by p power alpha bc is 1. So note that p power alpha comma n by p power alpha is 1 because I am taking the highest power of p dividing n. Therefore, this relatively prime. Therefore, I can choose ad and bc such that this linear combination becomes 1 because of the GCD condition. So where a, b, c, d are integers, and then the property is that WP is preserves the space independent of the choice of A, B, C, D. Doesn't depend on that in the case of trivial character. Otherwise, I have to restrict something so that then this property will be true. So one has to be careful about the choice business. Okay, because it fixes when you want to do the preserving condition, and then if you put a character in the space, then some restriction is needed. And WP square is some scalar, I think it's identity. I don't know that. Yeah, in this case it will become identity. In the case of trivial character, otherwise some power of p will come. And then this played a crucial role in the theory of new forms. So therefore, we will just introduce this one, and then before I go to the new form theory, I will come back to this, and then what is in Atkin-Lehner theory. Then he imitates the same kind of approach as Atkin-Lehner, and then he introduces the new forms, old forms, and the new forms. Okay, so in this way, one can define the W operator, just we define in the case of integral weight and take the lifting to the bigger group. That's what we define. So n is odd, and then square free you take because he doesn't take the general case. Therefore, p divides n, and p comma n by p is 1. So the alpha equal to 1 in this case. So define WP as the matrix P A 4n PB. Okay, so because of the extra automorphic factors, I think he restricts the choice of AB, and then minus 4 by P power minus half, minus 1 or minus half, P power minus 1 by 2, 4n z plus PB, I don't know, yeah, 4n z, so P b power k plus half, that is 1 by 2. Okay, this is my fees. Okay, I just replace the k into the normal one. So okay, so that is the W operator. Then you choose AB such that choose P square B minus 4NA equal to P. So I can cancel the P. Then I get AB integer such that this is true. Then it doesn't preserve the space because P is a single prime dividing. So then one has to introduce, if I apply twice, it preserves the space, otherwise it is not. WP, I think I use the bracket P in the case of half integral weight. I'll also use the same to just distinguish between integral and half integral weight. The small difference is there. W bracket P, it takes sk plus half 4n chi1 to sk plus half. It doesn't change the level, but character is changed. Okay, and minus 4 by p power minus k by 2 minus 1 by 4 WP acts as involution. You get involution on the sum of these spaces. Because it doesn't preserve, I have to take the sum of these two, direct sum of these two spaces. When one W operator takes this one to the, therefore it preserves the space. Therefore, if it is constant, it acts an involution. Square is identity on that. So next he proves the following proposition. The WP takes the plus space isomorphically onto 4n chi1 chi2. Okay, then this is easy to see that one the mapping property he proves, and then it is since square is identity, so it is an isomorphism. So now using, we have the U operator UP, and then we have the W operator WPs. Combining these two, he defines using UP and WP. He defines small WP is defined to be some normalizing factor plus 1 by 4 UPW. So now this capital UP takes the forms in this one to chi1 chi p, and then WP again multiplies another character chi p, therefore it comes back to the original space. Therefore, this UPWP preserves the space. The fact is that it preserves the plus space. That is another proposition. WP is a Hermitian involution on the plus space. Plus means I have this one, not without character chi1, so this one. Okay, the plus space is this one. Whose plus minus eigenspace? This is another interesting property, plus minus 1 eigenspace. Because it is an involution, the square is identity, so it has two eigenvalues plus minus 1. So the plus minus 1 eigenspace is characterized in terms of the Fourier coefficients, like in the case of the plus space characterization. So yes, k plus half plus minus comma p 4n chi1. So this is, we are in the plus space. I think if you want to, because one can introduce this one in the case of full also, I put a k here. So I put this k somewhere. I have to put. There are so many plus happening. I put k here. So this is the Conan plus space, and then I took the plus minus eigenspace. Okay. Here is characterized by yes k plus half plus minus comma p 4n chi1 in the Conan plus space is nothing but set of all f belong to the plus space such that AFN is 0 when there should be some epsilon. I don't know why I didn't put the epsilon. Minus 1 4 k n by p is plus minus 1. Epsilon minus 1 power k n by p is minus plus 1. So take this Legendre symbol value for any n coefficient, and then this epsilon I missed in the notes. I don't know. There should be, because of the character it should appear. So, okay. So whenever this minus epsilon minus 1 power k n is a quadratic non-residue, it belongs to the coefficient vanishing means it is in the plus space. It is a quadratic residue, the coefficient vanishes means it is in the minus space. So this is very interesting phenomena. We are just defining a plus minus eigenspace and operator is given in terms of the characterization in terms of the Fourier coefficients. And for each p dividing n, we have the full plus space is decomposed as the plus comma p and minus comma p. Sk plus half plus 4n chi 1 is k plus half plus p 4n chi 1 colon direct sum sk plus half minus p 4n chi 1 colon plus. So therefore, one has the plus eigenspace with respect to the WP, one minus eigenspace belonging to that. Therefore, if I take the direct sum, so you get back the full space. So proof of proposition 1, WP preserves the plus space structure. That is what it remains, okay? Because it doesn't, normally it is one can prove that, but here a special case is that you are taking the, restricting the W operator on the plus space, and it says that it preserves the space. So to show WP preserves the plus space. That is a statement, okay? Though otherwise it is true in the. So it is sufficient to show that. So plus space characterization is given in terms of the Q operator. So what he shows is that if I apply WP and then apply the Q operator, I get alpha by 2 times F bar WP. That means it is an eigenfunction, alpha times F bar WP. So F bar WP is an eigenfunction under Q with eigenvalue alpha. Again, in this case, eigenfunction, any operator when you apply F bar WP changes the character. So therefore, the alpha will change according to the character. So if you look at the alpha definition, let me see. So one has to keep track of these things. So where did I write? Okay. Yeah, this alpha. You remember that? So this epsilon appearing, this epsilon is chi of minus 1. Okay. Therefore, wherever you are in the space, character chi of minus, wherever the character we started with, that chi of minus 1 should be there. So in the case of WP, it changes the character to chi 1 into dot by p, the p by dot. So in that case, this epsilon will change. Okay, the eigenvalue for character changes. Therefore, this one we have to keep track of this alpha value of alpha. In the case F belongs to a different character space. Okay. So it is sufficient to show F bar WP bar Q is minus 4 by P. That's what extra factor comes. F bar Q bar WP. Okay, if I show this one, the alpha value for F bar WP, only this will be extra. I told you that epsilon is extra, minus 1 by 4 by P is extra term for epsilon in this case. So I have a alpha for F in the original character space, multiply by minus 4 by P, I get the alpha for the character for this particular space. Therefore, this will show you that F bar WP belongs to the plus space in the space here, because this chi 1 into chi p is there. So that's the whole point. So one can check that, check for any integer v, AV you consider 1, 0, 4n v 1, we have WP, we have the psi also I just change epsilon to minus 4 by p epsilon, because after I apply WP the character changes, therefore I had to apply the psi with extra factor in that is identity minus 4 by p some matrix in gamma 0 4n psi with the usual epsilon A mu star WP. So this is a commuting property of the WP with respect to the Q operator. Q is psi, the trace. Therefore, I apply the psi with the proper character, and then I put the trace, and then how it comes out. Okay, this the trace he brings it out, and then WP put to the other side. So in that case, if you are in the level character chi1 space, therefore I have to take the psi in with the epsilon. Okay, for some CV belonging to gamma 0 4n. So when I apply F on Sk plus of plus 4n comma chi1, this minus 4 by P comes out. This will be invariant. This will be the Q, and I have WP. That's what it says. And the mu is determined by mu mod 4 is determined by given V. One can choose mu such that n mu congruent to minus 1 plus n by P minus B into 1 plus NB mod 4. So V is given to you. You compute this one and then choose n, because n is odd, n is relatively prime to 4. I can solve this congruence, and then I get a unique. Given V, I can get a unique mu. Now the result follows, because this is what exactly we needed. Proposition 1 is done. So proposition 2 is very technical. Already we have so many technical things. So keep on doing that. The proposition 2 is too technical, but it involves so many computation. I am omitting that. Okay. Characterization. So proposition 2 is too technical, involving computations. Okay, that time consuming, so therefore one can refer to his paper. So everything is there, one can work it out. Now we come to the another half an hour, so we'll just start with the new forms. Okay, so consider, I told you that when I talk something about how it is done in the case of half integral weight, then we'll see that you take the space for simplicity. I'm avoiding the characters from now, because anyway he is not proving the uniform theory for all characters. He takes the character chi module n to be a quadratic character. So therefore, one can easily get the generalization in this case. So take the level weight 2k level n Cusp forms. So this is again Akin Lehner. This is again mathematical. People interested, that you can say, I think it is 185 volume, check that 1969 70. Okay, so one can read this paper. Okay, there is also generalization for characters by B. These are the good two references for this. Again, in the same journal, I think 1975, I think. Okay, so these two papers give you the uniform theory in the case of integral weight more generally. Akin Lehner for the trivial character, and then Lee for generalizing to the characters. Okay, so how you define Sk old n? We first start with the whole space and define the old class to be, you take all the spaces of level D dividing n, and then duplicate with dr. I put rd here, where r comma d greater than or equal to 1. This d is strictly less than n. I don't take d to be n, because when I take d to be n, the whole space will be there. So nothing is new in that case. Okay. What is this BR operator? So BR, B of R is a map Z going to RZ. So change of variable Z to RZ is a map BR. Okay. It is also given by the matrix R001. If I apply this matrix, in the case of this, if I take the stroke operator in the case of integral weight in the GL2 plus Q element, it takes f of Z to f of RZ. So therefore, okay, so you take all the Cusp forms, we start with level 1 and then take but then RD, because you take all the R divisors of n, I apply, and I take D, another divisor of n, you keep on taking the divisors of n and consider the space, and then vary R modulo n by D. Okay, R dividing n by D, you just take it. So many spaces will be there, you take everything. After that, define S2k nu n to be the orthogonal complement of S2K old n S2K n. We have the Peterson scalar product. With respect to the Peterson scalar product, take the orthogonal complement of the old class, then you define that to be the new forms. Therefore, we have S2Kn is S2K new n direct sum, which is orthogonal S2K old n. So one can also, so inductively one can do that. Finally, one can also decompose this into direct sums of new forms and its duplicates. So finally, one can prove that S2K old n is this is ordinary direct sum S2K mu d or Br, where Rd dividing n, Rd greater than or equal to 1, d is strictly less than. So instead of, though we started with this adding all the forms belonging to the old class, and then these are all the duplicating operators. So I duplicate these forms, they are in level n, you remove all the forms coming from the lower levels, and then later on we show that inductively one can see that this becomes the direct sum. Okay, this is a normal ordinary direct sum. After that, you take the orthogonal complement. So then, when you do this one, note that for the full space, you cannot get a basis which are eigenfunctions with respect to all Hecke operators, especially for primes dividing the level. So that is lacking in this space. So to get such a property, so this particular subspace was constructed. Then S2K nu n has the property that it has an orthogonal basis of eigenforms with respect to all Hecke operators, including P dividing n, okay, which was not lacking there. Also, one can show that these basis elements are also, one can also make an eigenfunction with respect to the W operator. Therefore, the space of new forms means it is an Hecke eigenform as well as eigenforms with respect to the W operator. So this is the theory developed in the case of integral weight. So Conan wanted to introduce this kind of new form theory in the case of half integral weight, especially in the plus case. Okay, so n now onwards, I assume that square free. So he defines in the same way. You just take all the forms coming from the lower level, and then you have to duplicate. The problem here is that this duplicating operator doesn't preserve the case of half integral weight. Therefore, and one should not change the level too much. Okay, so what he does. So now I take chi to be trivial. So chi1 is trivial modulo 4f. So for simplicity, I am not taking chi any character. So define sk plus half old, and then I have to put plus 4n to be same Rd dividing n, d strictly less than n, sk plus half plus 4d bar u of, there is a u operator. Now R dividing n, so R dividing n by d, so because Rd divides n, so those R dividing n by d, if I apply, they preserve the space because of the square, it doesn't change the character, and therefore everything comes back to the plus space. So the u operators preserve the plus space with the square index. So then sk plus half plus mu 4n is defined as the orthogonal complement of sk plus half plus whole 4n in the plus space. So as usual in the case of integral weight, he defines that. So far everything is fine. Then he proves the following theorem. Let us see how much we can prove these things. So explain. Okay, theorem 1. For every prime p dividing n, this up square and this w operator wp preserve the space of new forms. First result is that Hecke operators also preserve the new forms as well as the Herkin-Lehrer involution. Moreover, up square is nothing but minus p power k minus 1 wp on the plus space on sk plus of plus mu 4n. So this gives you that the moment I get a basis of k eigenforms, including the primes dividing the level, they are automatically eigenforms with respect to the Atkin-Lambda W operator. Therefore, the whole this space has a basis of eigenforms with respect to Tp square, Ep square, and Wp. Okay, theorem 2. The summary of all the results I'll put it, then we'll see how much we can see. One is that sk plus of plus 4n. So it proves this was result for a quadratic character also. Therefore, the statements are exactly same. For simplicity, I am not taking character here. Rd greater than or equal to 1, Rd dividing n, d strictly less than. No, not necessary. I can put every d here, because when I put d equal to n, I think the other part will not be there. So no problem. Sk plus half plus mu 4d bar ur square. So when I do this one, so when I consider the case d equal to capital N, then r equal to 1, there is no duplication there. They have the sk plus of plus mu 4n direct sum. The remaining is old. That's what the first statement. Second one is the space sk plus half plus mu 4n. Sorry. The space sk plus half nu has an orthogonal basis of eigenforms with respect to all Tp square p not dividing n and up square p dividing n. Okay, this is and then for up square, this and up square with eigenvalue is plus minus p power k minus 1, because Wp square has plus minus 1 eigenvalue. Therefore, eigenvalue of up square will be plus minus p power k minus 1 only. So that is the eigenvalue. If f is a new form means a Hecke eigenform with this property. If f is a new form, then there is a new form of f in S2k mu n, then put a normalized determinant of 2 scalar multiplication such that, so you start with if f bar Tp square equal to lambda pf for p not dividing n, and f bar up square equal to lambda pf p dividing n, then f also has the same property. This I put a suffix p so that to distinguish between integral weight f bar Tp equal to lambda p capital F, f bar up is. So this up is same whether it is integral or half integral. Only these operators are same, different. Therefore I was using that as a p not dividing n, p dividing n. Okay. And f and f are related as follows. F and f, capital F, are related as follows. Again, he defines the Shimura map here. So D is a fundamental discriminant of a quadratic field with minus 1 power k d positive. So now I put epsilon here. I told you that whenever, okay, epsilon I will remove here because this is cut. With minus 1 power k d positive. Then the same this L function identity of Dirichlet series, he writes L of s minus k plus 1 d by dot. So where character is there, chi into d by dot will be there into summation n af of mod d n square n power minus s is af of mod d into summation af of n to power n. Okay, so when you use these coefficients and form the Q expansion, the mapping is given like that. Okay, this is what this third is. So now one can prove using the Hecke operator relations. One can take the Dirichlet series and then factorize this and get it in terms of the Euler product of a form which is capital F. Okay. So the again mapping property he uses the Shimura map only. So that I will see at the end. The above map.
Sir,
yes.
one is a Dirichlet series and another is a Fourier expansion.
Ah, that is a mistake. Good that you pointed out. I was telling that. Oh, okay, that is. I was telling that so that no, that is a mistake will be. Yeah. So you start with the Dirichlet series identity and then transform into the Fourier expansion. That will be the identity here in terms of the map is given by that map denoted by SD plus. He also puts the map K, N level, everything is putting because when you are working with different levels, you should know what type of map you are using. Okay, so therefore, for simplicity, I just use the D only plus since we are fixing the level. So denoted by this and is given by on Fourier expansion D of n q power n greater than or equal to 1 goes to summation n greater than or equal to 1 d dividing n capital D by d power k minus 1 d of mod d n square by d square q power n. Okay, so this bn is the Fourier expansion and the same thing I am using it. Here, whenever the character appears, then I have to put the character there. That is the only difference. Okay, so that is, and it takes and it maps sk plus half plus 4n to s2k n. It takes the quadratic character, the image remains the same. So it takes the full space, the plus space to the n, it preserves the uniform spaces, sk plus half plus nu 4n to s2k mu n, and for every p dividing n, this is another property. He introduced the plus minus eigenspace under the W operator that also takes the plus minus eigenspace into the plus minus eigenspace in the interface of integral. So we take the sk plus half plus comma p 4n intersection sk plus half plus mu 4p. Therefore, I am intersecting the plus eigenvalue of WP in the uniform space. This to we have S2k. Similar thing which I have in the case of integral weight. I take this. Sorry, 4n. Okay. Okay. So therefore, the plus space with respect to WP restricted to the uniforms is isomorphic to the plus one eigenspace of WP in the case of integral weight, which are uniforms. There's a meaning. Also, this operator computes the action of Hecke operator, so TP square. So we take the function on the left, so therefore left hand side is for half integrate form. Okay, and then I apply SD plus I apply SD plus and then TP. P not dividing n. I have the UP square SD plus is SD plus UP where P dividing n. And there is a linear combination of SD plus, which is an isomorphism between sk plus half plus 4n, actually plus mu and s2k mu n. And similarly, the isomorphism also restricted to this one as isomorphism and this sk plus half plus P 4n. I put a new here also, that is the meaning of this, to between this and S2K plus comma P comma new N. Okay. This is the full statement of the results he proves in the paper. Okay. The first one is that the UP square WP preserve the space, and then UP square is given in terms of minus P power K minus 1 times the W operator, and then we have the decomposition of the space into direct sums of subspace of lower level, and the space of new form has a basis of eigenforms with respect to all Hecke operators, and also because of this one they are eigenforms under WP. So it commutes with the Hecke operator, and there is also a given any f, small f, or there is a new form of level n in the integral weight, and related, which have the same eigenvalues as that of started with half integral weight eigenvalues, and then there is a map like Shimura which takes the half integral weight in the plus space to the integral weight form of level n. Okay, and preserving the space of new forms as well as the plus minus eigenspaces. Okay, what is the time? How much I have? I think at least some part I will finish, and then I will continue tomorrow. So first what he does, WP, he says that first we will show that the WP preserves the space of new forms. Okay, that much we can do today, and then we will continue tomorrow. This one. Okay, so small WP, that is a very interesting computation. Preserves old space. Okay, so take f, because n is square free, n is odd square free. Take a prime P dividing n. So suppose the prime P, if I take the W operator for a different prime, definitely that will be preserving it. That is not a problem. So only thing is that when I take the WP and P dividing n, there will be a problem. So if f belongs to Sk plus half 4n by P, therefore now P does not divide in n. Now I have to show that the WP operator, it takes this to itself. Okay, so take this in the plus space, take f in the plus space, then we compute what is f bar WP. If I show that it is again in the old class, then that means it is the old form. So what he shows is that it is nothing but n by P summation. He computes the Fourier expansion. Again, this is computation is interesting to see. Go through that. Af of n q power n, that comes out. So I have to put a bracket here, plus minus 4 by P power minus K minus half n by P P power minus half f bar WP into P001 P power minus half. Okay, the WP is nothing but the UP WP. Okay, so he simplifies this, the UP WP, then we assume that f belongs to the 4n by P level, and then he computes the Fourier expansion, and it is of the form. So therefore, since f belongs to Sk plus half plus 4n by P, this implies f bar WP is nothing but, so f is in the level n by P, and WP one can decompose into matrices. So one can, that is another interesting one should know, that WP as a matrix, this is some element of gamma 0 n by P, P001 I can take, or I can take 100 P on the left, and another element is in gamma 0 of n by P comma P, something like that. Yeah. So this another, so I can take this matrix on the right or left, and then we take this particular one. This is in gamma 0 n by P. Therefore, since WP belongs to, the f belongs to level n by P, this f will be invariant with respect to this matrix. Therefore, I get back P001. That's what he does. Okay. Therefore, this is equal to f bar minus 1 0 4n by P 1 star WP. So he adjusts this one gamma 0 4 NBP matrix to get rid of that one. So one can do directly also. So F bar minus P A 0 minus 1 minus 4 by P power minus half P power minus half. So this is exactly F bar P001 minus 4 by P power minus half P power minus half. This minus 4 by P comes because of the change of the character. Okay. So this implies this, when I apply this one, I have P square 001. This implies F bar WP is N by P. After simplification, we get this summation N minus 1 power K N by P AF of N plus P power K AF of N by P square Q power N. Okay. So this is, if you look at the TP square expansion, we have the two terms in this one, which is exactly the same, modulo the power of P, and there is a UP square coefficient NP square is missing. So introduce the NP square and subtract it, and then noting that the A NP square coefficient comes from the UP square operator. So this is exactly N by P into some power of P missing that I introduce minus K plus 1 into minus F bar UP square plus F bar TP square. That's what he does. Okay. Now F belongs to level 4n by P and P not dividing n by P. Therefore, this is the Hecke operator on this space. Okay. Therefore, if F belongs to Sk plus of 4n by P, this belongs to level 4n by P, and this, anyway, this is in the old class. F is in level 4n by P. By definition, this belongs to the old class. This belongs to the old class. Therefore, F bar WP belongs to the old class. This implies F bar WP belongs to the old class. That means start with the level 4n by P form, then WP if you apply, I get back and again a form in level 4n by P and its duplication. Therefore, it is the old form in gamma 0 4n. So now applying WP again on both the sides and using the WP square as identity, we also see that UP square WP is an old form. So this implies on the new form space, tomorrow we'll see that on the new form space, we have UP square is minus P power K minus 1 WP. So for that he uses the trace operator. So I think I will continue this particular computation later and then tomorrow, and then we'll complete the theorem and then we'll go to the other results. Okay. So as you see, there's so much of things are involved in that, so we have to be patient to go through the calculations. So I'll just stop now because it is almost 11, so I don't want to proceed with this. Another, I have to use the trace operator to show that this particular UP square is WP on the space of new form. In fact, this whole thing is vanishes on the space of new form. That's what it will come. The UP square plus, that is UP square plus P power K minus 1 WP equal to 0 on new form space. So that we will continue tomorrow.